to today. The Rams defensive coordinator Greg Williams told us that the key for them is going to be stopping the run and taking down Russell Wilson. He said that his players aren't going to be shy about getting after Seattle's quarterback today. Gus, Charles?
All right, thank you very much. And for Pete Carroll and his Seahawks, they know that this is a huge step toward getting back to the Super Bowl to defend their title. There are the scenarios for you: a win, and if the Lions and Packers don't tie, Seattle clinches home field throughout. They'll win the NFC West with a win or a Cardinals loss. They're taking on the Niners today. So Pete Carroll, 63 years old, in his 5th year with the Seahawks, 82-61. The weather, perfect football weather, 43 degrees here in the Emerald City. Home to the 12th man. This venue, one of the most exciting and loudest in all of America. George Karl, the former Seattle Supersonics head coach, waving the flag in the towel. Seattle won the toss, deferred. St. Louis will receive. The Rams coming off a 37-27 loss to the New York Giants last week. Seattle beat Arizona and Glendale 35-6. These teams faced each other week 7. St. Louis winning it. They had to use some trickery, and one thing is for sure, the Seahawks have not forgotten it, and they're a little bit anxious to get back at it. Benny Cunningham back deep, along with Trey Watts. Stephen Hushka will send it away, and we're underway from Seattle. And Cunningham will take a knee. So as St. Louis comes onto the field for the first time, 3 things you need to know when the Rams have the football.
The first thing you got to take a look at is, the Rams want to run the football. So that's Trey Mason, their rookie running back. Didn't play the first 4 games, but his running stats since then, near the top of the league. Greg Robinson, the first-round offensive tackle. They want to imitate what the Seahawks do. They want to run the football first, last, and always. And then the Seattle Seahawks. Bobby Wagner missed 5 games with a foot injury. Since he's been back, the Seattle Seahawks defense is giving up less than 8 points a game.
Wagner recently selected to the Pro Bowl. First down and 10 at the 20-yard line. Trey Mason, the deep man, and Sean Hill will throw on first down. Fires to the far side, and he has his tight end, Corey Harkey, but he's dropped immediately by Cam Chancellor. And that's an incomplete pass. So Sean Hill, 6'3", 220, 13th year out of Maryland. His first year with the Rams after being acquired as an unrestricted free agent from the Lions. And at nearly 35 years of age, he is the 5th oldest quarterback starting a game this weekend behind Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, and Jockey Cowan. Richard Sherman, 2nd and 10 at the 20. Here's the handoff. Mason plunging into the line of scrimmage, and he'll gain a yard.
And right away, the Seattle defense takes the early advantage. No gain on first down with an incomplete pass. Barely a yard, if that, on 2nd down. 3rd and long, which allows the Seahawks to tee off on Sean Hill, the quarterback, and get after him. And the pass rush has been tough in the last 5 weeks.
3rd down and 10 at the 20. Rams need to go to the 30 for first down. Hill in the shotgun. Benny Cunningham with him. He's great out of the backfield. Underneath, ball caught, but not enough for a first down. They'll be a little bit short of that first down marker, and it looks like they'll have to punt it away as Kenny Britt, coming over from Tennessee, first year with the Rams.
And you see why Seattle's so good on defense. They didn't get to him with the pass rush, but when they did catch the football, short of the first down mark and no yards after the catch. The best tackling secondary in the league gets off the field on 3rd down.
So Johnny Hecker will punt it away from his own 15-yard line. Brian Walters, 5th-year man out of Cornell, back deep. And here's Walters backpedaling, signaling for the fair catch, and has it at the 21-yard line, a 48-yard punt. So Russell Wilson and the Seahawks come on the field for the first time offensively, and here are 3 things you need to know when Seattle has the football.
But when you take a look at what we're going to see today, Russell Wilson, that's quarterback slash running back equals Super Bowl. His arm and his legs can carry them back there, and he's having a banner year. Marshawn Lynch, without a doubt, a full-grown man at running back. You've got to test your courage as the game goes on if you want to keep tackling that guy. And how about the Rams? Their defensive front, 4 first-round draft choices, Aaron Donald and Robert Quinn, both going to the Pro Bowl.
First down and 10 at the 22, and they'll hand it off. Here's Marshawn Lynch, and they jump on him quickly as Donald, the rookie out of Pitt, makes first contact.
That'd be an interesting matchup inside today with Aaron Donald, number 99 in the center, Patrick Lewis.
And Russell Wilson in his 3rd year out of Wisconsin, 5'11", 206 pounds. He's 15-3 in December, January, and February. 21-2 in his career at home. The most home wins in a quarterback's first 3 seasons in NFL history. Second down and 10 at the 22. Here's Wilson to throw it. Steps up in the pocket, hit as he throws, and that's an incomplete pass. Donald getting in the backfield, and they really love this young pup.
What a great player he has turned out to be. This is Donald on the inside. Look at the 2 defensive tackles. I think it's Donald is the second guy I circled. Let's take a look. Yeah, look at the push inside. And Robert Quinn from the outside, keeping Wilson in the pocket, unable to escape outside. He has to step up and right into the arms of Aaron Donald.
Aaron Donald, the first Rams rookie to earn a spot in the Pro Bowl since Jerome Bettis in '93. Third down and 10 at the 22. Empty backfield for Russell Wilson. Low snap handle. Wilson with time, now in trouble, tries to get out of the pocket and is corralled and taken down by Mark Barron, 3rd-year player out of Alabama, former Tampa Bay Buccaneer, and they're really high on this young man.
They love him. He was the number 7 pick in the draft, but look at the coverage downfield, which allowed the exotic movement by a Mark Barron. And the alignment by Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator. They covered the receivers, nowhere to go with the ball. That allowed Barron to get to the quarterback.
John Ryan punting from the 5-yard line. Tavon Austin is back deep at the 32. Here's that end-over-end kick with English, and it is fair caught at the 35. And a flag thrown. It looks like Lockett ran into Austin. Ron Torbert, your referee today.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 83 of the kicking team, unnecessary hit after the fair catch. It's a 15-yard penalty. St. Louis's ball, first down, timeout.
As you take a look, Tavon Austin signaling for the fair catch, and somebody just couldn't pull up. We'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast in 175 countries and abroad, ships at sea on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do. We hope you're enjoying today's telecast. Trey Mason running the football for St. Louis. And you get the feeling, talking to Jeff Fisher yesterday at their team hotel, this St. Louis Rams team is not one bit afraid of Seattle.
Haven't been. They won in St. Louis. You know that they're in their heads a little bit with the gadgetry and the trickery. Let's see if the toughness holds up as well.
Second down and 8 of the 48. Play fake. Hill rolling out of the pocket, throws on the move, and has a receiver. And it's caught by Kenny Britt. And it looks like Britt has a first down. Kenny Britt signing as an unrestricted free agent from Tennessee, where he was familiar with Jeff Fisher. Britt really maturing after some rocky roads traveled early in his career.
And he's still just 26 years old. So a youngster who's growing up now and becoming a mentor and a guy for the younger receivers to look up to with his practice habits, teaching him how to be a pro is something he's grown into.
Gain of 10 on the play. First down and 10 of the 38 for St. Louis. Here's the handoff. Second man through is Mason. And he'll push the pile forward and get to the 35. Now let's go to Los Angeles and check in with Joel Klatt for Game Break.
All right, Gus, to San Francisco we go. Ryan Lindley, a little flea flicker. He finds a wide open Malcolm Floyd, and Arizona has the early lead over the 49ers 7-0. Of course, Arizona win and a Seattle loss, and the Cardinals would be NFC West champs. Gus, CD, and Molly.
And thank you very much. Second down and 8. A lot going on with that 49ers team. At the 36. Here's Hill. Straight drop. Now he'll look into the flats and find Mason with running room. And Trey Mason picks up a first down. Cam Chancellor there to knock him out of bounds. Hey, CD, what happens to Jim Harbaugh?
Oh, he's gone. I mean, Jay Glazer said it before the season even began, that win, lose, draw didn't matter. He was going to be gone. Situation at San Francisco become untenable. And offers on the table at Michigan, but I'm not 100% convinced he's going to take that one. I think he's going to find a way to find another job in the NFL.
First down and 10 to the 28. Out of the I formation, Trey Mason, the deep man. Stephen Bailey in motion. Here's the pitch. Mason trying to get outside. Nice move, but finally is dropped. Some hard hitting going on. K.J. Wright, in his 4th year out of Mississippi State, making the tackle.
How about Earl Thomas flashing on the running play and being the first guy there to slow up Trey Mason and allow for K.J. Wright to finish out. See how right there, Thomas didn't make the tackle, but he spilled the play right back inside, and there's K.J. Wright. Seattle runs to the ball as well as any defense in the NFL.
Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 to the 25. Here's the reverse, and it's Tavon Austin. And the second-year man out of West Virginia not finding a lot of room. 3-yard pickup on the play as Cam Chancellor was there once again. And we saw Cam Chancellor at practice on Friday. Tell you what, he looks like he could play power forward in the NBA.
He is long. That is a strong individual. Covers and sets the tone for the defense. They call him Bam Bam Cam for a reason, the way he hits.
Third down and 4 to 22. Benny Cunningham. Third down back in the backfield now for Jeff Fisher and the Rams. Hill fires, caught, and looks like it's close to a first down. Should be a first down as Jared Cook, their leading receiver, makes his 50th catch on the season. He's in his 6th year out of South Carolina.
It's interesting, when we talked with Sean Hill, the quarterback of the Rams, in our production meeting with him, what did he say they needed to have? Accuracy, precision, and rhythm. But it starts rhythm, precision, and accuracy. That's what this drive has to have. Anytime they have a chance, they've got to be right on point, because holes close quickly, whether you're running it or throwing it against Seattle's defense.
First down and 10 at the Seattle 17 for St. Louis. Austin in motion. They'll hand it straight away to Mason. And Mason dragged down inside the 15-yard line by Bruce Irvin and Bobby Wagner.
Now, what we're seeing out of St. Louis is normal for them. They are fast starters. You know, for the season, I believe they're plus 52 in the first quarter in points scored. As the game goes on, it becomes tougher for them. There's Brian Schottenheimer, the offensive coordinator. They usually start fast. Today on their second drive, they're putting together something nice.
Ryan, the son of legendary NFL coach Marty Schottenheimer. 2nd and 8 at the 15. Mason, the single setback, play fake. Hill rolling out of the pocket. Nobody to throw to, and they'll just dump it out of play. Under enormous pressure, O'Brien Schofield trying to chase him down. And that brings up 3rd and 8 at the 15.
Look at Schofield. College defensive end has turned into an outside linebacker in the NFL. Has speed to spare, and he chases down Sean Hill, who makes a nice veteran play and gets rid of the football when no one else can get it.
10th play of the drive for St. Louis. 3rd down and 8 at the 15. And here comes the 12th man. Benny Cunningham in the backfield. Hill out of the gun. In trouble. Fires to the far side, and it is incomplete. Tavon Austin, the intended receiver, but that ball thrown out of play as Jeremy Lane was covering.
Delay of game. by the offense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
This is actually fortunate in a way for St. Louis, because now they get another shot at it on third down. They're not out of field goal range anyway. So they actually pick up a play here when it appeared that they had to make a decision about field goal or go for it, which we know would have been a field goal attempt. Now they get one more crack, even though it's third and longer.
Third down and 13 at the 20. Rams need to go to around the 7-yard line for a first. Here's Hill. Sets up a screen. And it's caught by Vinny Cunningham. And Cunningham is wrestled down by K.J. Wright. Not enough for the first down. So here comes the field goal unit. And there they are already. Getting a little chippy with each other.
And what did we talk about? Right? Rhythm. Right? Precision. Accuracy. Well, they weren't precise and they weren't accurate on that play. So the rhythm was all off. Because if he's able to hit Cunningham clean, they had the screen set up for a little bit more yardage.
So Greg Zuerlein comes in to attempt a 33-yard field goal on the season. He's 22 of 28. Got it down, up, and it is good. So St. Louis striking first as they take a 3-0 lead over Seattle. And welcome back to Seattle. St. Louis taking a 3-0 lead as Hill leads them on an 11-play, 35-yard drive, eating up 5 minutes and 37 seconds. Zuerlein with the field goal, and he'll kick it away. Paul Richardson back deep for Seattle. There's the beast, Marshawn Lynch, ready to get back onto the field. Richardson will bring it out of the end zone. And Richardson with a great run gets all the way up to the 30. So coming up, Marshawn Lynch. Does he have another spectacular run in him? Final game of the regular season. We'll see right after this.
How about Marshawn Lynch? We had Beastquake 1 and Beastquake 2. Which one did you like better? The first one was the 2011 wild card game when they were 7-9 and beat the defending Super Bowl champ New Orleans Saints. And last week, put them in position to win the division and maybe home field, beating Arizona at Arizona. Which one do you like better, Gus? 1 or 2?
I like the 1 because he got fined $11,000 for what he did at the end of 2. And I'd like Marshawn to keep that money in his pocket. First down and 10 at the 30. Here's a handoff. Turbin in the game now for Lynch. And Robert Turbin, third-year player out of Utah State, getting around the corner. Jermaine Johnson making the tackle for St. Louis. Seattle CD with some versatility in the backfield, led by this man.
Marshawn Lynch is #1 without a doubt. But when you can change up and bring Robert Turbin into the game, who's a similar physical style runner, and Christian Michael, who may be the strongest of the three, you're packing a load in the backfield.
Second down and 5 to the 35, and they'll hand it to Turbin. Turbin with room. He picks up a first down and more. Robert Turbin stopped by Tremaine Johnson, but he gains 14. And let's check back in with Joel Klatt in Los Angeles.
All right, Gus, big one obviously in the NFC North. Green Bay on the board first. Micah Hyde, the second punt return TD of the year. 55 yards, but the Packers up first, 7-0 in Green Bay. They haven't lost a Week 17 game at home since 1990, Gus and Charles.
All right, thank you very much. First down and 10 at the 49 for Seattle. Russell Wilson, empty backfield, 3 receivers at the top of the screen. He looks that way, delivers on time, and Russell Wilson has a completed pass to Kevin Norwood, the rookie out of Alabama.
And you remember last week when Seattle went to Arizona and won, Marshawn Lynch was on the bench for a good portion of the first quarter with an upset stomach. Wasn't able to play, and Robert Turbin got the bulk of carries early. Then Lynch came in and was the absolute hammer with that 79-yard touchdown and 113 yards overall. Not sure if he's having similar issues today, but Turbin getting a lot of early carries.
Second down and 7. Wilson in trouble. Now he'll step up with running room, and Russell Wilson stopped by T.J. McDonald, but he gained 6 yards. And what a pleasant experience yesterday, having a chance to sit down with Russell Wilson.
He's class personified, isn't he?
Yes.
Third-year guy. And a lot of people kept saying, well, at 5'10", can he really be this guy in the NFL? And what did he tell us? I've been preparing for this day my whole life. I never once thought it wouldn't happen. This is exactly where I thought I would be and where I'm supposed to be.
3rd and 1. Inside handoff. And they get it as Will Tukuafu.
Yeah. It's something, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Tukuafu.
What a pleasant young man. You know what he did for the holidays this year? Gave out 100 different gift packs to the homeless and the needy, filled with food, toiletries, clothing. He and his wife and their 2 kids went out there on Christmas Day and handed that out at homeless shelters and to people here around Seattle who don't have it as well as most of us do.
Well, Tukuafu needed a yard. He picks up 2, 1st and 10 at the 40. Michael now, the deep man in the backfield, and they'll give it to him. Trying to get around the right side, and he's finally slung down. Tackled on the play by William Hayes.
Seattle, as you alluded to not long ago, deep in the backfield. So deep that you can go Robert Turbin, Christine Michael as your starting guys to loosen up the defense, and then your hammer can become Marshawn Lynch. If Marshawn Lynch is your hammer and your closer, you've got problems if you're the opposition, don't you?
2nd down and 8 at the 38. Wilson with time. Wilson dancing in the pocket. And Wilson finally just gets rid of it on the far sideline.
Good pass rush there, wasn't it? Like James Laurinaitis back there dancing with him. Laurinaitis is your linebacker to the right of your screen, and he just stays with it, stays relentless as he gets passed off by Justin Britt. Laurinaitis on one side, Chris Long on the other.
On 3rd and 8. Here's a handoff to Turbin. And Turbin will not pick up the 1st down. He'll gain about 3 yards on the play.
They may go for it here. You're in no man's land on the punt, and it's a long, long field goal.
Pete Carroll thinking about it, and he will keep his offense on the field. Stephen Hushka missed 3 field goals last week. So on 4th down and 5, Seattle going for it at the St. Louis 35.
Good an athlete as Wilson is, he could also short punt it.
Here's Wilson. He'll throw it underneath. Caught and close to a 1st down. Luke Wilson making the grab. Let's see.
It's a good spot for them. They've got a chance, because at first I thought he wasn't there. But I feel like the spot gives them a chance. Good tackle by Laurinaitis. Doesn't really let Wilson slip away from him. So where he went down, I thought he was short. But I thought he got a little bit extra on the spot.
And it looks like the Seahawks did not pick up the 1st down. So they turn it over. Here comes St. Louis on offense after this. 1:21 remaining in the 1st quarter. St. Louis with the ball and a 3-0 lead over Seattle. Seattle so far 9 plays, 39 yards. 1st down and 10 at the 31 for the Rams. Zach Stacy in the game, and they'll give it to him straight away, and he doesn't go far. Nicely done by Bobby Wagner, the middle linebacker. Now ringing the new year on Fox Sports 1 as we bring you a marathon of Big East basketball featuring all 10 teams back-to-back. It all begins at 11:30 a.m. Eastern and goes all the way to midnight only on Fox Sports 1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Where will you be that day?
I will be in New Jersey, Seton Hall and St. John.
Coach Lab, huh?
That's right. 2nd down and 11. After the 1-yard loss, here's Hill. Sets up a screen, and he has Stacy. Stacy with blockers with the stiff arm and finally pushed out of bounds by Earl Thomas. And one thing that makes this Seahawk defense so special is when you look at the guys in the secondary, you have some terrific football players.
And they didn't come via the first round of the draft. Richard Sherman was a 5th rounder. Cam Chancellor, a 4th rounder, I believe. Earl Thomas was a 1st rounder, but Byron Maxwell was a 6th round pick. Jeremy Lane coming in from Northwestern State in Louisiana. Not a heavily recruited or scouted area. He comes in and plays well in the nickel.
3rd down and 6 at the 35. Flag on the play as Hill goes far side, incomplete, extended for Daly.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 76 was lined up in the backfield. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
And I think our referee got turned around a little bit.
Yeah, you know, this game can do that to you with the speed and the power of people getting into the pocket. Ron Torbert, as you noted, got twisted around, gave the proper signals and the proper administration of the penalty, but we didn't get to see his handsome face.
So Johnny Hecker will punt it away from the 21. Walters, the deep man for Seattle. And Walters with the fair catch at the 22. A 42-yard punt, and that takes us to the end of the first quarter. St. Louis came ready to fight. Rams lead 3-zip. Welcome back. Gus Johnson, Charles Davis, Molly McGrath, Mike Pereira in Los Angeles, our rules analyst. We are here in Seattle. 1st down and 10 at the 23. Seahawks was close to 600 yards in total offense last week, a franchise record, only 37 in the first quarter, and they give it to Turbin, and Turbin picks up a 1st down. Robert Turbin stopped by Marcus Roberson as we take a look at the Seahawks playoff scenarios.
We take a look at home field for the Seahawks is out there for them. If they win and the Green Bay Packers and Detroit Lions game does not end in a tie, they have home field throughout the playoffs. They win the NFC West with a win or an Arizona Cardinals loss.
1st down at the 35. Marshawn Lynch in the game. And they give it to Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch, gang tackling by the Rams. Alec Ogletree and James Laurinaitis leading the way. Here's Joel Klatt in Los Angeles.
Gus, Charles, it's even easier in the NFC South. Win and you're in, lose and you go home. Ed Dixon 5 yards out, catches this one from Cam Newton. And the Panthers on the road, up by 10 early. Gus, Charles, and Molly.
I know that the records aren't great, but if Cam Newton and the Panthers pull this off after the car accident a couple of weeks ago, it will help his image in a big way.
2nd and 7 at the 38. Lynch. And this time he is knocked backwards. And that's what they told us yesterday when we spoke to the Rams. They have to swarm Marshawn Lynch and not let him get started.
And they'd rather have him carrying the ball inside into the strength of their defense. Look at how defensive front controls things. Michael Brocker's number 90. Kendall Langford, number 98. They just hammer the offensive lineman in front of them, pursue and get to the ball and put Marshawn Lynch down. The strength of the Rams, the defensive front, and the interior continues to get better and better. And there's Robert Quinn, their sack master at defensive end.
A loss of 2. 3rd down and 9 at the 36. They need to go to the 45 for a 1st down. Here's Wilson. Drops it off. Lynch out of the backfield with the grab. Still running, and he picks up a 1st down. Still going. No, he stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line.
One of the most underrated aspects of Marshawn Lynch's game is his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield. Look how he catches it. Just takes it. Now he makes a move. Everyone thinks he's super physical, and he is. But how about the agility and the footwork as he slips past Janoris Jenkins and picks up a 1st down on a 3rd and 11. Did you watch him catch the ball in practice the other day? Did you see how soft his hands were?
Very soft.
Just enveloped it.
A 10-yard gain, 1st and 10 at the 46. Play fake. Wilson rolling out. Wilson drops it off, and this time it's caught by Paul Richardson, the rookie from Colorado. An 8-yard gain. Russell Wilson buying time with his legs.
We just talked about you getting ready to do that basketball on New Year's Eve, right? Did he not look like a point guard manipulating the basketball in open field with a play fake, right? You know, he takes the ball, fakes like he's throwing, pulls it down, slides out a little bit more, another pump fake, and then delivers the pass for a first down.
2nd down and 1 at the 45. Turbin looking for the first down, and he will not get it. The Rams defensive line, as you mentioned, Charles, doing a nice job getting some pressure. Laurinaitis comes up with Ogletree combining on the tackle.
And they went super heavy on that play, Seattle did with the offense. They brought in Gary Gilliam, number 79, an extra offensive tackle, and used him as a move tight end to come from right side of the line to the left side to try and create space at the point of attack. As you noted, the Rams submarined it and stopped the play.
3rd and 1. Turbin trying to get to that first down marker. He leans forward. He should be close.
I think he got there with the forward lean and the power. Turbin created his own space on this run. Tukuafu, 46, is the lead. He ends up taking out a linebacker, but look at all the white shirts there. How about Turbin's drive, though, on this play? See how he creates his own space? That's not really well blocked, but look at the legs continuing to go, and the body lean forward, I think, will allow him to pick up the first down.
So they bring out the chains, and they will measure.
I thought he got a little bit more on that play than what he got on the spot.
And he got enough by the nose of the football.
It's tough for a defense, isn't it? When you defend it well, you're right at the point of attack. You have extra shirts there, extra bodies, and the running back finds a way to create his own space and pick up enough for a first down. Haven't seen a big shot yet today from the offense. Greg Williams, the defense coordinator, exotic in what he does, loves to bring pressure. We haven't seen the big shot from Wilson trying to get someone downfield yet.
First down. Play fake. Wilson setting up deep in the pocket. Now he feels pressure and gets rid of it.
Tell you what, he knows how to. This is one of the places I think he's really grown as a quarterback. He said he lives to fight on another down. That play was done. All right, he figured it out, scrambled around a little, and I think in his youth, with the pressure he was getting, he would have still tried to create a play, and it could have turned into disaster and a big loss. On this one, he got rid of the ball, and it's only 2nd and 10.
Aaron Donald and Eugene Sims with pressure on Russell Wilson. 2nd and 10 at the 44, and they hand it off to Marshawn Lynch. And he'll gain a couple. James Laurinaitis with the tackle. We talked to Laurinaitis about having to face Marshawn Lynch twice a year and the challenges that he faces against this 215-pound back.
Said it was the toughest tackle in the league, trying to tackle Marshawn Lynch. It's very difficult to do. He said because he's so agile, he doesn't get enough credit for the agility in his feet, and then you get the stiff arm in your chest. So he says, what do you have to do? Gator tackle him, get down to his legs and his feet.
3rd down and 8 at the 42. Here's Russell Wilson. Pressure again. Wilson stepping up in the pocket. Wilson gets rid of it and intercepted by St. Louis. The Rams pick it off as Marcus Roberson steps up and comes up with the interception. Russell Wilson came into this game with just 1 interception in his last 6 games, and he throws one here in the 2nd quarter. Rams with all sorts of pressure on Wilson in this first half, and it pays off big here. Back to Seattle, 9:28 to go in the 2nd quarter. Rams with a 3-0 lead over the world champion Seahawks, and the football at their own 40-yard line. St. Louis with pressure on Russell Wilson coming up with the interception. As Marcus Roberson, the rookie from Florida, picking it off.
An undrafted free agent pickup.
First down and 10. Hill with time. Underneath. And Hill finds Mason, who's still running. And Mason picks up the first down as he crosses into Seattle territory. A 12-yard gain. Now, week 7, Seattle went to St. Louis, and after the Rams special teams delivered big, the game turned into a back-and-forth battle with the Rams ahead late in the fourth quarter. Punter Johnny Hecker's fourth down pass helped stave off the Seahawks. 28-26 the final.
3 big special teams plays won the day for St. Louis.
First and 10 at the 48. Here's a handoff, and knifing in Michael Bennett with the stop.
Bennett is just so quick and strong. Look at how fast he's into the backfield. And the Rams are struggling a little bit too, because at left tackle, Greg Robinson is no longer in the game. Molly McGrath gave us information that Robinson's hurt and out of the lineup, so the Rams have had to shuffle the offensive line. And it looks like Roger Saffold, who started at guard, is now playing left tackle.
Second and 14 at the 48-yard line. Hill out of the shotgun. Hill under pressure, and Hill swarmed under at the 35. First sack of the day for Seattle. And it looks like it's Cliff Averill and Jordan Hill combining.
And look who flashed first, though. Look for 72. See, Bennett flushed him from the pocket and right into the arms of Cliff Averill, number 56. Michael Bennett is not going to the Pro Bowl, but he's definitely playing at a Pro Bowl level.
Averill spent 5 years with Detroit. Third down and 24 at the 38. And he'll hand it straight ahead to Benny Cunningham, and he will not pick up the first down, as Bobby Wagner, KJ Wright combine on the tackle, and it will force St. Louis to punt it away.
And it's special teams time. So if you're the Seattle Seahawks, what have you talked about all week? What has Pete Carroll said to this team all week? We better be alert for anything and everything. Jeff Fisher is a master of the fakes and the gadgets, and that's what beat them in game 1.
Johnny Hecker will throw it, but this time he punts it. Angling it toward the near side. Walters over to receive at the 10. Steps up and goes down at the 13. A 46-yard punt and a 3-yard return. So coming up, it's Russell Wilson trying to lead this Seahawks offense down 3-zip. Coming this January is Empire, starring Terrence Howard as a hip-hop mogul and Taraji P. Henson as his just out of prison ex-wife, featuring some amazing music and high drama. Empire premieres Wednesday, January 7th on Fox. First down and 10 at the 13, and they fire it far side. It's Doug Baldwin with the catch, and Baldwin, it's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. And it was fun to watch Baldwin in practice yesterday. He was like a bumblebee, just buzzing around. You know, he knows every lyric to every hip-hop song, and he made sure that he performed in front of his teammates.
They practice and have fun while getting their work in. And Doug Baldwin is one of the guys that keeps that team loose, but he also keeps them on point. You remember when they were struggling this year? He's the one who called out the team, so everybody needs to get it together. And they have come together and have played well down the stretch.
Second down and 2 at the 21. Wilson, screen pass coming up. Marshawn Lynch going outside, stopped, breaks it back with room. Marshawn Lynch fumbled the football. Was he down is the question. The Rams pick it up and head out of bounds, and they say it's St. Louis's ball.
That's good officiating. Looked like Ogletree, number 52. See, he missed there, but watch how he stays with the play. And see him strip it there at the end. Now the key is going to be, did it pop out?
Covered by St. Louis. First down.
Did it pop out before he hit the ground? And the officials did an excellent job because they let the play out. They didn't blow it dead early. Let it play out, because replay will come back and review it, and if it needs to be overturned, it can be.
And we'll take a break. Coming up, we'll see if St. Louis holds on. Welcome back. 3-zip. Marshawn Lynch on the sideline right now. And he's disappointed after coughing up the football. The Rams will hold on, and for Seattle, that's only their 7th lost fumble of the year. St. Louis taking over deep inside Seattle territory. First down and 10 at the 34. Trey Mason, the lone setback. And they'll give it to Mason, and Mason met as he approaches the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards Bobby Wagner. Bobby Wagner, so interesting. When we spoke to him, he found out he made the Pro Bowl, and the first call that he made, you would think that it would go to a family member or maybe, you know, one of his friends, but it went to somebody that you wouldn't really expect.
That guy right there, Richard Sherman, said that he's been so supportive of him since he's entered the league and become such a close friend. He wanted to thank him for his support.
Second down and 12 at the 36. Here's Hill. Steps up, delivers sidearm, and Trayvon Austin has the ball, and he picks up 7 yards on the play.
Austin is so interesting because he became a great case study for the league when they moved up, I believe, 8 slots to draft him in the first round. I think at number 8. And when they drafted him, it was a case study because you didn't often draft a receiver that small, that high. So how would the Rams utilize it? Well, they use as a wide receiver, as a running back, and as a kick returner in order to get maximum use out of his skills.
Third down and 5 at the 29. St. Louis 1 of 6 on conversions and a flag.
Ball start. Offense. Number 72. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
That'd be Joe Barksdale. Starting right tackle. Right there. He's already set back a long ways. If I'm Seattle, I'm talking to the officials about how far he is off the line of scrimmage. Because when those tackles get back that far, it kills the angle for a defensive end trying to rush the passer. Makes it nearly impossible to get there. If I'm Seattle, I'm chirping to the officials about how far back they are off of the line of scrimmage.
Third down and 10 at the 34. Here's Hill. Steps into his throw and incomplete. Jared Cook, the tight end, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up fourth down. Cam Chancellor covering.
The pressure got there so fast that Sean Hill had to get rid of it. And Cook was still running his route. Didn't even have a thought of looking up for the football. The timing was off. Because in his head, his internal clock, there's no way the ball should have been there that fast. That was because of the pressure of the defensive front of Seattle.
So Greg Zuerlein comes in to attempt a 52-yarder. Becker, the holder, gets it up. And good. In 2012 against Seattle, Zuerlein became the only kicker in NFL history to make both a 60-yarder and a 50-yarder in the same game. This one from 52, St. Louis up 6-zip. 4:18 to play in the second quarter. St. Louis taking a 6-0 lead with the Greg Zuerlein 52-yard field goal after Marshawn Lynch fumbled the football or was stripped of the football by Ogletree. St. Louis telling us that they need some momentum going into the offseason. They don't want to end with 3 consecutive losses as the Seahawks will return it across the 15-yard line. Russell Wilson has his work cut out for him. Back to the Emerald City right after this. 6-0 St. Louis. Seattle has won 20 of the 32 games in the series, including the last 9 here. But 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two have been one-score games, and the Rams have won 2 of them. Russell Wilson under a lot of pressure. Seattle with 92 yards on 24 plays. Remember, they had close to 600 last week. First down and 10 at the 18. Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch stays on his feet, finally stood up, and refuses to go down. Alec Ogletree and LaMarcus Joyner in on the stop. But this defense for St. Louis has been excellent in the first half.
How about the pressure they put on Russell Wilson all game long? What they've done is they've kept him hemmed in the pocket. He wants to escape outside. They keep him inside. Mark Barron cleans up. Look at Aaron Donald chasing him there. Forces an errant throw. Down that play, Robert Quinn got to him. He throws the interception to Marcus Roberson. Done an excellent job of keeping him hemmed in the pocket and hitting him.
Marshawn Lynch again, this time with a huge hole as he picks up a first down. Marshawn Lynch recently selected to his 5th Pro Bowl this week. Laurinaitis and McLeod with the tackle.
For much of the game, the St. Louis Rams defensive front has been handling the offensive line of Seattle. Last week, Seattle went for 596 yards against Arizona, 267 on the ground. The last 2 plays looked much more like last week.
First down at the 38. And they'll stay on the ground with Robert Turbin. Kendall Langford makes the stop. Let's go back to Joel Klatt in Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, how about Carolina today? On the road, NFC South on the line, and Roman Harper, first year in Carolina after being in New Orleans for so long, 31-yard interception return for a touchdown. Panthers up 17-3. Gus, Charles, and Molly.
Joel, not bad by Roman Harper for a man who's 137 years old. What a great play.
And it looks like this flag will be called against Seattle.
False start. Offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's James Carpenter.
Now we got to get Mr. Torber to remember to face towards us, because otherwise his family's going to be upset that they don't get to see him enough on TV.
I'm sure he will get a text from somebody at halftime.
I think it's buzzing as we speak.
Second down and 14. At the 34. Turbin, the pistol back.
Prior to the snap, this is a 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
So we're at the 2-minute warning. Pete Carroll must be surprised because Jeff Fisher's boys are putting it on him in the first half. Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL. I think that guy's listening to some tunes. Charles. Maybe some heavy metal. Some Jay-Z. Second down and 14 at the 34. Wilson. And this time he finds Turbin out of the backfield. Look at him slice. Robert Turbin with that beautiful lean as he gets close to the first down. A 13-yard gain. Marcus Roberson had to chop him down.
Now they're going to pick up the pace a little bit, and that play was effective because of the downfield blocking by the receivers, specifically Kevin Norwood.
Third down and 1. Wilson fumbles the football, but he'll get back on it. But will not pick up the first down. So self-inflicted wounds committed by the Seahawks.
So now look at this. This is the zone read. It's a decide play. Do you give it to the back? Do you pull it out? And he did it with Turbin. And on the pull, the ball popped free. Ogletree's on the scene. Russell Wilson fortunate that the oblate spheroid actually bounced in his direction instead of away.
Yeah, he was able to gobble it up with those gigantic hands. Yesterday we had a chance to measure Russell Wilson's mitts.
Hey, you got some pretty good mitts on you yourself, partner. And Russell Wilson got you, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He gobbled my hand up.
You notice I didn't even try. You notice I tapped out on that one. You guys go ahead.
But a frustrating first half for Wilson. No points. 1:14 to go. All the pressure on Seattle. As you take a look at his numbers, Seahawks need a win to clinch home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Get that first round bye. But right now, St. Louis giving them a run for their money with a 6-0 lead, and the Rams ready to get the football back. Austin, the deep man, as he comes up and fields it at the 15. So St. Louis coming back on the field. Let's check in with Joel Klatt once again.
Gus, a costly touchdown in Green Bay for the Packers. Aaron Rodgers steps up dealing with that left calf injury. He would go down. Cobb gets the touchdown. It's 14-0 Packers, but Rodgers would be on the field, had to get helped off. Later would have to take a cart to the locker room. It's all happening in Green Bay. NFC North on the line.
Imperative now, Green Bay gets the open week, because they can clinch the North and a first-round bye with a win, so they've got to try and hold on against Detroit, because they'll need that extra time to get their quarterback back.
First down and 10 of the 16 for St. Louis. And they'll run it with Benny Cunningham. And Cunningham finding no room. Cam Chancellor comes up, drops him.
Now we'll play the timeout game. Seattle hoping to hold them in there and get the ball back for one last shot.
A minute and 2 remaining in the second quarter. Both teams with 2 timeouts remaining. 2nd and 11 for the Rams at their own 15. And it's Cunningham. And Cunningham knocked backwards. Chancellor in there, as well as Kevin Williams. And another timeout called. Under a minute to go. Back after this. 3rd down and 11 at the 15-yard line for the Rams. Here's Cunningham as he turns it up and goes down at the 20. So that brings up 4th down. And a timeout called by the Seahawks. They're out of timeouts now, but let's check in with Kurt Menefee, find out what's going on at halftime.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, just one more playoff spot left as the Panthers and Falcons battle it out for the NFC South crown. The Ravens grab the last spot in the AFC, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock officially. They've got the top pick in the 2015 draft. We'll break it down at halftime.
All right, thank you very much, Kurt. Who does Tampa Bay draft?
They're going to be looking heavily at the quarterback position. Remember, they went off-season free agent. Mr. McCown from Chicago. I don't think that has worked very well. Mike Glennon was a 2nd-round, 3rd-round pick a couple years before. I think they're in the market for a quarterback.
Hecker punting from the 6. Walters will return it at the 25. And Walters shut down at the 29-yard line. A 55-yard punt and a 4-yard return. Chase Reynolds with the tackle for St. Louis on special teams as Russell Wilson comes back. Their last scoreless first half in 2011 against Cleveland.
So he'll be operating now the old 2-minute drill with 43 seconds on the clock.
No timeouts.
0 timeouts. Means you're working sidelines. Catch the ball, get out of bounds.
First down and 10 at the 29. Wilson, quick throw, and it's incomplete. Marshawn Lynch, closest man of the football.
Did you see how fast Mark Barron, number 26, flashed on that play? I think he disrupted the play with his presence there, because it's supposed to be just a quick toss into the flat and try and pick up some blocking for the receiver. Barron obscured the vision of the receiver, couldn't get to the football.
Barron's got great size. He's 6'2", 213. 2nd down and 10 at the 29. Marshawn Lynch. And Lynch knocked out of bounds. 34 seconds on the clock. Now coming up, it's the Visa halftime report. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will be along with scores and highlights. Final week of the regular season in the National Football League.
One playoff spot to be filled, but still intrigue about who gets home field, who gets the bye, the open week for them, where they don't have to play.
3rd down and 4. Wilson under pressure again. Flag on the play. Wilson throwing on the run, and it's caught by Luke Wilson. Seattle trying to get to the line of scrimmage quickly. There was a flag thrown on the far side. And this may be offside against St. Louis.
Offside. Defense. Number 91. Penalty decline. Result of the play is the first down.
Remember, Seattle does not have a timeout left. 23 seconds to go in the first half.
What? Two-jet.
Wilson to throw it. And Wilson sacked. Second sack of the day. A fumble on the play as well. But they will call Russell Wilson down. Aaron Donald, the rookie, collapsing the pocket and finally getting to Russell Wilson. Ninth sack of the year for the rookie out of Pitt. 13th overall selection. And more than that, pushes him out of field goal range.
Last week, Patrick Lewis, who's playing center for the Seattle Seahawks, did yeoman's duty in their game against a terrific defensive front of Arizona and a terrific defense overall. Today, he's had his hands more than full from the rookie, Aaron Donald. You just mentioned the stats, mentioned what he just did about field goal position. He's dominating inside, collapsing the pocket, and absorbing the run game. What a rookie season for Aaron Donald, who's going to the Pro Bowl. Remember, that ball came free at the end of the play. Russell Wilson. There's Quinn.
And that is a fumble.
That ball was popped free by Down, but you got to establish whether there was clear possession. And it looks like Seattle came up with the football. Right there, as you noted, Donald popping it free. Barron 26 on scene. Good job by Laurinaitis trying to shove someone out of the way to get the football, and they're not able to get it. But Britt, right, number 68, the right tackle, right over the top. Looked like Okun 76 was trying to grab it between his ankles, and Britt fell on it and secured possession for Seattle. Story of the first half, Gus? Defense of St. Louis in my mind.
Oh, I tell you, this defense for St. Louis. Great performance in the first half against a Seahawks team coming off their franchise record in total yards last week against another good defense.
And Todd Bowles has done a tremendous job in Arizona as the coordinator. Think about that team winning 11 games coming into this weekend, going through 3 quarterbacks.
Next man up.
And that means the defense has to take more of a role. Todd Bowles and his defense have more than done that. And last week, Seattle chewed them up. Really had a tough day with them. But today, St. Louis, that man, Aaron Donald, the rookie, first-round pick, the second #1 pick in the first round for the Rams. Remember, their first pick was Greg Robinson, the offensive tackle. And a lot of people thought Aaron Donald might be just a little undersized and that the season might overwhelm him. That has not been the case at all. He is one of your better under tackles, 3 technique, whatever you want to call it, in the league as a rookie.
6'1", 285 pounds, his size.
People thought he might be a little bit too small. But we watched him at the combine, and forget the 40-yard dash time, which, believe it or not, was 4.68. Okay? Wow. But it was the 10-yard split that just absolutely sold St. Louis. Mike Waffle, their defensive line coach, has lost his mind. So we've got to have that guy.
And the guys upstairs are just making sure that Russell Wilson wasn't down by contact.
So that'll change where the spot is depending on how they rule. But this possession has been secured by Seattle. So there's Wilson. See Quinn there. He's the first guy. And then there's Donald popping the ball free. So the ball's clearly out at that point. So I think it's got to go where the ball's recovered. He wasn't down with the football. So they just got to determine where the spot is. And there's Britt coming over the top to get the ball for Seattle. Go ahead.
2 seconds remaining in this first half.
St. Louis defense has just been so disruptive in this first half.
After review, the ball was fumbled, recovered by Seattle at the 46. By rule, a fumble inside of 2 minutes, recovered behind the spot of the fumble, will be spotted at the spot of the recovery. It'll be Seattle's ball, second down at the 46. The clock will start on my ready for play signal.
So Russell Wilson faced with a 2nd and 19, 2 seconds to go. As Seattle keeps it. And now a timeout called by St. Louis.
They want to set their Hail Mary defense, make sure the personnel is correct in the game, and be clear on what they want to do and how they want to play the football when it's launched towards the end zone. We've seen enough plays this season, whatever level of football you want to watch, where the Hail Mary's actually been successful. Greg Williams, defense coordinator, does not want that to happen and erase 30 minutes of terrific football by his defensive team. I mean, they have been masterful here in the first half, haven't they?
Yes, they have, as Coach Williams sends 5 guys back deep.
Sean Hill talked about timing, rhythm, and accuracy for the St. Louis offense. Seattle has not had much of that for their offense.
So here's Wilson, most likely the final play of the first half. St. Louis blitzing, and they fire. Baldwin up the sideline. Baldwin trying to find a crease and finally knocked out of bounds inside the 10. And that's the end of the first half. St. Louis with 66 total yards, but the Rams lead heading into the break 6-zip. We now go to Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa halftime, which starts right now. 6-zip, St. Louis leading Seattle as we head to the second half. And today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan. Russell Wilson has been under some serious pressure in this game. 5 hits, 5 hurries, 2 sacks, and he's fumbled twice. Gus Johnson along with Charles Davis, and coming into this game, Jeff Fisher said, listen, we don't want to go into the offseason with 3 consecutive losses. We need a momentum builder. I tell you what, his team played like this is a playoff game in the first half.
Pride's pretty powerful, isn't it? And this is a St. Louis team that beat Seattle in week 7. But the defensive game plan of Greg Williams and the execution, masterful. Just take a look at the first half stats. We talked about the pressure Russell Wilson's been under. Look at how it's been reflected here. Even though the numbers are in favor of Seattle, they're not getting as much done as one would think. The 2 turnovers have killed them, and 3 points have resulted off of the 2 turnovers. But the way that they've attacked him, kept him hemmed in the pocket, using different guys to spy him. Mark Barron, number 26, has really showed up from the secondary, chasing around Russell Wilson and keeping him in the pocket.
So Seattle receiving to start the second half. And this is Paul Richardson. And Richardson will take a knee. Let's check in with Molly McGrath downstairs.
Thanks, Gus. You mentioned the Rams' dominant defense. Well, Jeff Fisher told me he wants his defense to keep doing exactly what they've been doing in the second half. They can't let up, but he is disappointed with his team's inability to capitalize on Seattle's mistakes. He said they'll make some slight offensive adjustments in the second half, and even implied with a wink that there may be some trickery. So we might see some interesting stuff from St. Louis.
All right, thank you very much, Molly. As a matter of fact, Jeff told us yesterday, he said he was thinking about running a trick play against the New York Giants last week, but decided he'd save it for Pete. First down. And here's Russell Wilson. And he slides down at the 25-yard line. James Laurinaitis covering him up.
A little bit of a different type of an option play that Russell Wilson just ran there. Didn't have the trail back. Remember the traditional fake it inside, you got to trail back and you pitch it. Instead, it's a wide receiver, Doug Baldwin, out in the flat, that if Russell Wilson's able to, he can pitch it out to him almost like a forward pass as opposed to the backwards lateral.
Second down and 5 to the 25. Marshawn Lynch, long setback, and they'll give it to him. Lynch running left, lowers his shoulder and goes down at the 27. T.J. McDonald is having a terrific year, only his second season out of USC.
And to go back on something Molly just reported on, Jeff Fisher knows that his defense has played awfully well. Yet what? They're one play away from being tied. Yeah, they only put 6 points on the board. Had them bottled up, had them hemmed in. Offense unable to capitalize, as he told Molly McGrath.
Third down and 2 at the 28 for the Seahawks. Richardson in motion. Wilson dumps it off Lynch, picks up a first down. Here's Marshawn Lynch still running, stiff arming. Marshawn Lynch crossing the 40 up to the 42. That's a 14-yard gain.
Easy little toss. But look at what he does. He makes people miss. That's something James Laurinaitis kept telling us. The underrated aspect of his game. Sure, he's beast mode. Sure, he's physical. We know that. But the agility and the footwork allowed him to be stronger in beast mode at the end of the run because he made people miss. Guys unable to break down in the open field and come under control and tackle him.
First down and 10 to the 42. Play fake. Wilson firing downfield. Oh, what a catch by Paul Richardson. He just went up and got it.
And Janoris Jenkins found the football, number 21. It wasn't that his head was turned and he couldn't find the ball. He found it. But Richardson, as you noted, went up over the top and took the ball. So a lot of people call a 50-50 ball. Who's going to come down with it? Richardson turned it into 100% Seattle.
A 32-yard gain. First down, Seattle. At the Ram 26. They fire far side, and it's Richardson again. And Richardson has been making some big plays of late. And he was expected to see more time today because of the hamstring injury to Jermaine Kearse, suffered last week against the Cardinals.
We've seen a good number of rookie receivers come into the league and have excellent years. Many in Seattle were wondering about Paul Richardson, but over the last 3-4 games, he started to establish himself as a big-time threat.
Second down and 6 at the 22. Wilson, now he goes near side to Baldwin. And Doug Baldwin wrapped up and slung down, and that'll be a 2-yard loss.
What a read by Rodney McLeod, the safety. Read it and came now. As soon as he knew what the play was, diagnosed it, and was a bullet. And went right past the block with number 81, Kevin Norwood, to spill the play.
Third down and 8. If you take a look at Seattle and their third down conversions today. From the 24. Wilson handles the low snap over the middle and incomplete. Ball intended for Luke Wilson, who's coming off a huge game last week. 3 catches for 139 yards and 2 touchdowns.
This one came in at him hot, and he had to go up in the air to go get it. But that's one that he's going to look at on tape later and say, yes, I should have come down with that. Right through his mitts and hit off his face mask.
So Stephen Hushka last week against Arizona had the first 0 for 3 day of his career, doubling his number of misses for the season. This one from 42 yards away. And it's good. Pete Carroll called last week's game for Hushka a big fluke. Grinded out type game here in Seattle. St. Louis with a 6-3 lead. Both the defenses playing excellent football as you take a look at the playoff scenarios for the Seahawks.
And the home field so prevalent and so advantageous in the playoffs. If they win, Lions and Packers going into the tie, they have it. And they need to win it because right now Arizona is currently leading San Francisco.
And Benny Cunningham. St. Louis will start from the 20, up by 3. Let's go back to week 6 after Seattle special teams put them ahead 10-0. The Cowboys rallied behind Tony Romo in a back-and-forth duel. Ultimately, DeMarco Murray's rush game was too much for the Seahawks as the Cowboys handed the Seahawks their only home loss of the season.
Take a look at the best home record since 2002. Seattle just barely behind Green Bay. This is one of the most intimidating places anyone has to go play.
First down and 10 to the 20-yard line for the Rams. Austin, the motion man. Here's Hill on the play-action fake. In trouble, that sack. What pressure again. Kevin Williams this time.
Watch Williams from the middle of the pack. Number 94 lined up over the center. Gets good push, but he got some help from Michael Bennett, number 72, who occupied 2 blockers and allowed Kevin Williams to come free. The perennial All-Pro in Minnesota, giving the Seattle Seahawks excellent play down the stretch.
Williams in his 12th year out of Oklahoma State. An 8-yard loss. Second down and 18 at the 12. And here comes the 12th man. And they'll run it. They line up Tavon Austin in the backfield. And he gets clobbered. A 1-yard loss as Michael Bennett comes up and makes the stop for Seattle.
This tells you how Dallas was able to beat Seattle, doesn't it? 3 Pro Bowl offensive linemen controlled the front and kept those big guys from getting into the backfield, and that's how Dallas was able to win the game. That's a difficult task for any team.
Third down and 19 at the 11. Hill over the middle. And it's caught, but Benny Cunningham won't get close to the first down. Bobby Wagner jumped on top of him and brings him to the turf. And St. Louis will have to punt deep in their own territory.
The 12s have made themselves heard now. The team is feeding off of their emotion and giving them terrific play.
Johnny Hecker will punt from the goal line. Brian Walters hovering around the 40. Walters over to the far side and catches it out of bounds at the 30. A 55-yard punt, 6-3 the score. But you feel the momentum shifting in the Seattle's favor.
How about the last 5 games for the Seattle defense? 33 points allowed coming into today. Defense went from 12th in points allowed to 1st in that span. And even today, they may be behind 6-3, but the Seattle offense has turned it over twice. Seattle defense has only given up a field goal off of those 2 turnovers.
Russell Wilson, 12 of 18, 165 yards and an interception. Marshawn Lynch and Alec Ogletree grabbed him first, but Lynch gains 7 yards.
You know, I just had a thought. Ready?
Yes.
As we look at the defense, Seattle 12.3 points since week 9. How about St. Louis? They're playing well also at less than 16 points per game. All game long we've been talking about the gadgetry of St. Louis. Wouldn't it be something if Pete Carroll sent one back at them? That could happen today. Seattle breaking out a trick play.
Marshawn Lynch running left, and Lynch trying to stiff arm Robert Quinn, but Alec Ogletree comes over and helps him out.
Another example of why St. Louis has given up less than 16 points per game in that span we showed since week 9. Robert Quinn, 19 sacks in 2013, comes back with 10.5. And remember, he didn't have a sack until their first meeting with Seattle, which was week 7. And since that time, accumulated 10.5 total.
Second consecutive Pro Bowl. Third down and 2 at the 39. Wilson underneath, Richardson in space, and a first down. 13-yard gain. Tremaine Johnson stops him. But Russell Wilson got that ball out of his hands quickly.
That's good isolation in the play call by Darrell Bevell, the offensive coordinator. You notice they went at Tremaine Johnson, number 22. Had a very tough week last week against the New York Giants. He gave up 9 catches, 150 yards total, and 2 touchdowns, and 4 of the other catches went for first downs. He had a rough outing. They went right back at him today.
First down and 10 at the 48. Richardson, 4 catches, 58 yards. Wilson steps up on the move, fires, and it's complete. Tony Moeaki with a 21-yard gain, the 5th-year man out of Iowa and former Kansas City Chief.
And what were they worried about in St. Louis? The ability of Russell Wilson to extend plays. He kept the play alive. That allowed Moeaki to work his way free in the flat, and Wilson delivers.
So a first down at the Rams 27. Seattle finding their rhythm on offense the last 2 series. Marshawn. And let's quickly check in with Joel Klatt.
All right, Gus, back up to Green Bay, and Detroit has stormed back in this one. Calvin Johnson 4 yards out from Matthew Stafford, second of the day, and it's all tied up. And guess who is back and set to return to the field? Aaron Rodgers wrapped up that calf, and he's coming back, fellas.
That means quick passing game, a lot of shotgun, I would imagine, for Aaron Rodgers. Ball's got to get out of his hands. His legs have probably gone out of the equation today for the Packers.
Second down and 6 at the 23. Wilson rolling, throws on the move, and he has Richardson. Richardson getting down at the 20. Eugene Sims with the stop for St. Louis.
I feel like Darrell Bevell has gone to a little bit deeper into the playbook here in the second half, meaning he's doing it like a boxer. He's giving St. Louis different angles now to try and find Russell Wilson in the pocket. Sometimes it's a 3-step drop. Sometimes he's moving to his right, moving to his left, countering with the receivers coming across the formation to work their way through.
Third down and 4 at the 21. Trips at the top of your screen. Here's Wilson, looks that way. Wilson in trouble, and Wilson sacked. Oh, did he get rid of it? A flag on the play.
I think they're calling the sack, but there is a flag on the play.
Marcus Joyner chasing down Russell Wilson.
Holding. Offense. Number 76. Penalty is declined. Result of the play is 4th down.
So that'd be Russell Okung. Returned after a bruised lung, did not play against Arizona. And there he is. They grabbed it, caught him with a small grab there. I'm not sure, maybe they got the number wrong about who actually got the hold. But here comes Hauschka.
So Hauschka good from 42 yards away. This will be a 45-yard attempt. Trying to erase the memories of his bad day at the office last week, and he just strokes it. 4:45 to play, third quarter. We're level. Hauschka with the equalizer, Seattle. 6-6, St. Louis and Seattle, 4:45 to go in the third quarter. And Stephen Hauschka erasing the memory of the disaster last week. He's 2 for 2 and ready to send it away. Jeff Fisher, 29 years in the NFL, former player with the Chicago Bears. He and Pete Carroll have a long history. Jeff went to SC, was a big fan of Pete when he coached the Trojans. Benny Cunningham, the deep man. And Cunningham elected to bring it out of the end zone 8 yards deep. Not a wise decision as he just gets to the 17.
The team struggling with momentum as it is can't make a play like that and keep the momentum in Seattle's camp.
All right, week 17 continues tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern as the Bengals take on the Steelers. Both teams are playing for the AFC North title. That game can be seen on NBC. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya. St. Louis, 6 total yards in the last 4 possessions combined. After taking a 6-0 lead, Trey Mason with running room, and he'll pick up a first down and gain 13 yards. Earl Thomas, the safety, making the tackle. And there is an injured Ram down.
I believe that's Joe Barksdale, number 72, the starting right tackle. You know, last year, Zach Stacy was the rookie running sensation for the St. Louis Rams. Since Trey Mason has taken the field, starting with, what, week 5, week 4? He's really rendered Zach Stacy almost null and void. There's Joe Barksdale, formerly a 3rd-round pick of the Oakland Raiders. Didn't work out there well. Has come to the Rams. Today was his 30th consecutive start for the Rams on the offensive line.
While he's down, let's check in with Joel Klatt in L.A.
Well, I'll take it from here. Gus, Aaron Rodgers went back on the field for the Packers and threw a touchdown pass to Randall Cobb. 2nd TD for Cobb on the day. And they lead Detroit 21-14 in the 3rd quarter. Of course, the winner of that game wins the NFC North and gets a 1st-round playoff bye. Gus and Charles.
I'm sorry, Kurt. They finally made Kurt do some work around there, huh?
How about the Lions season, though? What a year. As we look at the Green Bay Packers, if they win, they clinch the North, 1st-round bye. But if the Lions win, they take the division and take that. And remember, the Lions have not won in Green Bay, in the state of Wisconsin, since 1991. Could today be the day?
So the Detroit fans are hoping that today is the day. 1st down and 10 now. At the 30-yard line for St. Louis. Zach Stacy in the backfield. Underneath, and they throw it, and it's complete. Kenny Britt hauls it in traffic. And it's a gain of 7 yards.
And I think Kenny Britt's the right type of receiver you have to run against Richard Sherman. You need a big, strong, physical guy who's not going to let Sherman intimidate him. And it wasn't a huge completion, but it's a confidence builder for Sean Hill in the offense.
Kenny Britt, 6'3", 223. Richard Sherman, 6'3", 195. 2nd and 3 at the 37. Mason, the deep back. They give it to him. Running left with room, and Mason had to be hauled down. K.J. Wright just reached out and pulled him down. If not, he could still be running. It's an 8-yard gain.
If Wright doesn't make this play, watch this. Right here, if he doesn't make this play, Mason's still running for a while, I believe. That's where 6'4" and a terrific wingspan came into play for K.J. Wright. Often described as long, that length made a big play for Seattle.
1st down, though, for the Rams at the 45. Crooked motion. Hill looking over the middle. Is it caught? Looks like it is a catch for Kenny Britt. And now they wave it off, and they say it's incomplete. And Britt wants
him to challenge it.
Jeff Fisher to challenge.
Let's take a look. He comes back for the ball, gets the hands underneath, body.
Going on the field is a catch and a 1st down for St. Louis.
Well, if it is, they called that correctly because he had both hands underneath it, cradled it to his chest. I don't see anything but a catch there. It appeared that there were a couple of officials appeared to wave it off, didn't they?
Yes.
I mean, that's what we saw. But they ruled it a catch, and it was a correct call.
1st down at the 43. Hill looking up the sideline for Britt again. And incomplete. Maxwell covering for the Seahawks.
Watch Britt, 81 in white, but look at the position and technique by Maxwell. Say just pins him to the sideline, leaves him no room to fade in there. Even if the ball's perfectly thrown, he's bodied Britt over the sideline. No catch available for him. Excellent coverage and technique by Byron Maxwell.
2nd down and 10 of the 43. The St. Louis offense starting to gain some confidence now. Hill underneath. And this ball caught by Chris Givens. And Givens lost it. Seattle says it's theirs.
I think they already ruled it down, though. The official was marking the ball coming in from the sideline.
Was down by contact prior to the ball becoming loose. It's third down.
Yeah, he was down. Both knees were down. The hand was down before the ball came free. Maxwell with the first tackle. And there's the big hit coming from Wagner. You see he's down already. And then the ball works its way free.
Third down and 4 to 37. Cunningham in the backfield. Here's Hill standing in the pocket, and he's got Cook for first down. Jared Cook came in motion and found some space and picks up 12 yards.
How about Brian Schottenheimer in the second half, dialing up something a little bit different now. Now he's going to the short passing game. Ball's out of Sean Hill's hands quickly into the hands of receivers. They're trying to get those open areas before Seattle's defenders get to those spots and set up in coverage.
First down and 10 at the Seattle 25 for St. Louis. Trey Mason back in. They give it to him. Mason stood up and taken down and gained about a yard on the play. Bobby Wagner and O'Brien Schofield combining on the tackle.
And if St. Louis is going to win this game, they've got to get to the end zone. Field goals are a failure at this point now because of the Seattle defense. They need a touchdown to put a real dent in them. And for St. Louis, Joe Barksdale's back in at right tackle.
Second down and 9 to the 24. Hill 4 for 5, 37 yards on this drive. Quick strike. Austin gets outside and goes out of bounds. And a flag is on the play.
Going to get him for a hold, probably out on the perimeter. That was just a counter to the jet sweep that they run with Tavon Austin. They ran him across formation and threw him a quick pass.
Holding. Offense. Number 12. 10-yard penalty. Replay. Second down.
Stedman Bailey.
And trying to help block for Tavon Austin on that quick pass. They caught Bailey holding on the play. But, you know, we've seen that jet sweep from the Rams all year long. Now, this time, instead of handing it to him, just ran him across formation, popped up immediately, and threw it to him. Same end result, but a different look for the defense.
Brings up second down at 19. Rams need to go to the 15-yard line for a first down. And that'll take us to the end of the third quarter with the score. St. Louis 6, Seattle 6. America's Game of the Week will return after these messages and a word from your local station. Let's take a look at the scoring by quarters. The Seahawks with a good third quarter, scoring 6 points on 2 field goals to knot this game up at 6. Gus Johnson, Charles Davis, Molly McGrath, and Mike Pereira. St. Louis with the football at the Seattle 34, second down and long. They need 19 yards. The first down marker is at the 15. Hill backs up and intercepted. He just threw it right to a Seahawk. Incredible Jordan Hill. What a catch for a man at 300 pounds. How did he hold on to that ball?
And why did Sean Hill throw it the way he did? Throw this in the ground. The screen pass is not there. And he's actually trying to do that. Hill made a remarkable catch as Hill tried to throw it into the ground so it wouldn't be intercepted.
And welcome back. As St. Louis with a costly mistake, but Seattle will take it. That's because Jordan Hill made a play that all of his defensive linemen will be talking about quite some time.
And at first I thought Sean Hill just did a poor job of getting rid of the ball. He's trying to ground the football where no one can catch it. He's trying to do as he's taught and trained, and Jordan Hill just goes down and makes a remarkable catch. You know, coaches have told me all over any form of football how they're doing way more ball drills with defensive guys because possession is so important nowadays because of the way teams score.
And the ruling will stand.
But do you see how important it is in a game like this? We got a tie ball game. Every possession vital. You don't want to miss opportunities to take the ball away. So even the big guys are doing more ball drills. Jordan Hill looked like a tight end making a terrific catch.
Jordan Hill with his first career interception. And the Seahawks take over at their own 46. Marshawn Lynch. The deep man in the backfield. Richardson in motion. They give it to Marshawn. And Lynch gets to midfield. Aaron Donald with the stop after the 4-yard gain.
Does this feel like beast mode time to you?
It does.
It feels like this is where Seattle is going to challenge their offensive line and say you've struggled with the defensive front of St. Louis for much of this game. Can you guys answer the challenge and carve out a little space and let number 24 go to work?
2nd down and 6 in midfield. Wilson fires far side. That ball caught by Doug Baldwin, and he dives forward and picks up a 1st down. The Energizer Bunny for the Seahawks.
Watch what he does after the catch. He catches it. He knows the tackle's coming. He tries to spin away, absorbs it enough, and stays up over the top of Marcus Roberson to dive forward for the 1st down. Tremendous body control and thought process by Doug Baldwin.
Baldwin with 3 catches for 43 yards. He's their leading receiver. 63 catches coming into this game for close to 800 yards receiving. Play fake. Wilson dancing. And he'll dump it again. Wilson cannot get his feet set when he drops back because he's under so much pressure.
And if it's not the front 4, the linebackers are coming after him. On that play was James Laurinaitis, number 55, that didn't allow him to get his feet set and look downfield for a target. Laurinaitis is a terrific player because he's able to stay on the field in all situations, all downs. He doesn't just tackle well, plays the pass extremely well from his linebacking position.
2nd down and 10 of the 43. Lynch. And he'll pick up about 3 yards on the play. Aaron Donald with the tackle. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee, please.
All right, win or lose for Seattle, they win the West if Arizona loses to San Francisco. And right now, the Seahawks are rooting for the 49ers. Bruce Miller making it pay. 2017, they lead the Cardinals in the 3rd quarter. Gus, Charles, and Mark.
They tried to make the playoffs, makes for strange bedfellows, doesn't it? The Seahawks are rooting for the 49ers. Well, there's your playoff scenario. Win and home field as long as Green Bay and Detroit do not tie.
Wilson near side. This ball caught. Norwood still on his feet and out of bounds. Inside the 10 for Kevin Norwood, the rookie. LaMarcus Joyner with the saving tackle. That's a 31-yard gain.
Watch the secondary. There's a clear breakdown here that allows Kevin Norwood. Look at Janoris Jenkins. He's breaking inside on Doug Baldwin like it's a slant route. It's not. It comes outside to Norwood, who can't believe he's that wide open, but gladly accepts it and takes the ball downfield for additional yardage. Not sure what Janoris Jenkins was watching as he looked inside, but it took him completely out of the play.
1st down and goal at the 9 now for Seattle. Here's the handoff. Lynch!
Watch the offensive line and look at the hole that they carved for Lynch. Look at that. You talk about a tunnel being created for beast mode to waltz into the end zone. Well done by the offensive line and tight ends of the Seattle Seahawks.
Marshawn Lynch, a career-high 17 touchdowns now, 13 rushing, 4 receiving. Extra point up and good. 12:07 to play in the fourth. Seattle moving and grooving now, led by Marshawn Lynch. Don't forget, coming up next week, it's the wild card on Fox, but nobody knows who's in it. It's been a crazy day in the National Football League.
So what we're saying is the wild cards are to be determined.
That's right. But for the Seahawk fans, they want to get back to the Super Bowl. Pete Carroll told us it's not about just winning one.
No, he's talking about building a program that can do things repeatedly. Not win one, but win multiples. He didn't do the LeBron James. Not one, not two, but that's what he's thinking.
Benny Cunningham in the end zone, and he'll bring it out at the 10, 20, and gets all the way up to the 32-yard line. A flag on the play, though. And an injured player for Seattle.
He's been thrashing around for a while. Glad the attention has gotten to him.
During the return, holding, return team number 54, 10 yards, first down.
And that's Will Herring, injured player. We'll be back right after this. Welcome back. Jerron Johnson, the injured player for the Seahawks. He walked off on his own, but had to be helped off the field. Looked like he was having some kind of shoulder or arm ailments. First down and 10 at the 15, Hill. And this time, he'll make sure that this ball is at the feet of Corey Harkey.
And things are going so well on defense now for Seattle that when the ball was about to be snapped, they still only had 10 men on the field, Seattle did. Coming off the bench late was number 41, Byron Maxwell, to run into coverage. But the pass rush is so good, Sean Hill could never find anyone open, even though they really only had 10 guys out there.
Second down and long. Hill, straight drop. Delivers, and it's caught. And a first down for the Seahawks. This time it's Lance Kendricks, backup tight end, in his fourth year out of Wisconsin, and it's a 17-yard gain.
He's their hybrid guy. Going back to Jeff Fisher's days in Tennessee, a Frank Wycheck type at tight end who finds ways to get open for big gains and big plays when they need them. And give a little love to the offensive line on that play. They gave Sean Hill plenty of time to find an open receiver.
First down at the 32. Mason tried to break it back, but doesn't get far. Bruce Irvin comes up and makes the stick. Let's go downstairs to Molly McGrath.
Thanks, Gus. Yeah, Jerron Johnson was holding his right arm very gingerly. Trainers wrapped that right arm. He's walking back to the locker room right now, and he is out with a right elbow injury. Gus?
All right, thank you very much, Molly. Second down and 8 at the 34. Hill drops it off. Mason with space gets to the 40, picks up a first down. For St. Louis, as Cam Chancellor had to grab his ankle and bring him down after the 11-yard pickup.
That was well delivered by Sean Hill, too, because I believe K.J. Wright, number 50, came free. He was a free runner back to the quarterback, and with his long arms, he can obscure the vision of a quarterback. Sean Hill still found Trey Mason open.
First down and 10 at the 43 for St. Louis. Hill delivers again to Kendricks, and he lost it. Ball picked up. Bruce Irvin, touchdown Seahawks.
The ability to run to the football and create plays is why Bruce Irvin ended up in the end zone. I believe Bobby Wagner was there when the catch was made to force the ball out of Kendrick's hands into the air, and Irvin takes it away from him. Watch the crowd get to Kendricks right there. Look at that play by Wagner as he pops it free to his teammate Irvin.
And he returned it 49 yards for the touchdown. Extra point is good. Seattle with 14 points off turnovers. And the Seahawks are 9:50 away from potentially clinching home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Bruce Irvin with his second interception, return for a touchdown this season. 49 yards. And as you mentioned during the break, Bobby Wagner's pretty good.
Yeah, and Bruce Irvin's got to give Bobby some big dap for helping him out on that play. But their ability to run to the ball where plays are made and have a swarm of Seahawks there, that's why that play was made. Wagner forced it free. Irvin took it to the end zone.
Cunningham from the goal line. And he'll get to the 25-yard line before being stopped. Now, the last team to win back-to-back Super Bowl championships was the New England Patriots, who won Super Bowl 38 over the Panthers and Super Bowl 39 over the Eagles, both by slim margins.
Big-time field goal kicker helped, didn't it?
No doubt about it. Adam Vinatieri.
And that's why the Seahawks today, what was one of their goals? To get Stephen Hauschka off the schneid, right?
They need him.
And they were able to do that. He's 2 for 2 so far today.
First down for St. Louis at the 25. Trailing 20-6. And this time it's Cunningham. And Cunningham will pick up a first down as he gets to the 39. Earl Thomas, the safety, with the tackle.
Now, though, things change a little bit in how you play defense if you're Seattle. They'll still be aggressive. They'll still be the Seahawks. But now it changes what St. Louis does offensively, having to throw the ball on almost every down.
First down from the 39. Hill. And that one thrown behind Jared Cook. Hill's got an interesting, kind of like a sidearm delivery.
Yeah, it's not really throwing it, is it? It's more slinging it. You know, Woody tells you his grandfather had a farm in Kansas.
That's right, southeast Kansas.
Parsons, Kansas. You get a lot of work out there, wheat farming, some livestock, but he's slinging it much more than he's throwing it, trying to get it into the right angles and through the thicket of arms in the defensive front.
Second down and 10. Hill again. This time it's caught. And it's Cook with all sorts of running room as he gets to the 40 and picks up 20 yards. Jared Cook having a terrific season.
And that one was slung accurately, wasn't it? Put it right on Jared Cook.
First down. Hill, pump fake. And he'll drop it off. It's Zach Stacy. And Stacy stood up by Bobby Wagner. Wagner missing 5 games this season because of injury. Out of Utah State, 2nd and 4 at the 35. Hill. Oh, a beautiful throw and a great catch in major traffic by Chris Gibbons.
He put it on him, didn't he?
He snapped it on him.
And Gibbons ran a nice route and kept his body in front of Byron Maxwell's to keep him away from the football and finished off the catch.
First down and 10 of the 23. Hill again. This time to the far side to Stacy. Stacy with some nice running after the catch before Earl Thomas brings him down.
There's a big-time move he put on Malcolm Smith, number 53, the Super Bowl MVP, that allowed him to gain extra yardage.
And Jordan Hill, who came up with the huge interception, is the Seahawk down 20-6. All right, let's take a look at how the West was won.
Well, the West was won because it has to go through Seattle. But the way this season has gone, look at what Seattle did against Arizona that gives them the advantage. And right now, Arizona down 3 at San Francisco. Combined score 54-9 in the 2 wins over Arizona by Seattle. That could be the difference in the division title and a possible home field throughout the playoffs for Seattle.
Rams driving, though. 2nd and 4 at the Seattle 17.
False start. Offense. Number 76. 5-yard penalty. It's still 2nd down.
With Roger Saffold, who's been a left tackle, a right tackle, a left guard, a right guard, has settled in at left guard this year for the St. Louis Rams out of Indiana. I think he's had a nice career. I think inside at guard is probably the best place for him, if not at right tackle.
2nd and 9. Hill fires, and this time he has Cunningham out of the backfield, and he'll pick up the first down, getting to the Seattle 10. O'Brien Schofield knocks him out of play.
That was designed well, wasn't it? Because you get Benny Cunningham, number 36, their 3rd down back, out isolated on O'Brien Schofield, a backup outside linebacker, and Sean Hill found him right away.
First down and goal at the 10-yard line for the St. Louis Rams. Rams not going away easily. Hill under center. Stacy, a nice piece of running as he finally goes down around the 7-yard line.
And at this stage of the game, it's 4-down territory. You can't even think field goal here if you're the St. Louis Rams.
2nd down goal at the 6-yard line for Jeff Fisher's Rams. Hill throws it in the end zone. Incomplete. Jared Cook broke open late, had 2 hands on the football, but just couldn't haul it in.
That seemed to be a memory bank play. You go back to week 7. How did they score the touchdown that ultimately decided things? The touchdown pass to a tight end working on a linebacker. And that's what they did here. Getting it over the top of Malcolm Smith, number 53, and Cam Chancellor, 31, unable to finish it.
3rd down goal at the 6. 3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. Cunningham in the backfield. Here's Hill. Cunningham open. Can he make a move and get there?
Did he have the ball? Yeah. Touchback.
Wow.
They're going to say that he dropped the ball before he gets to the end zone. See him making a play. Look at Earl Thomas punching the football.
The ball was fumbled at the half-yard line, into and out of the end zone. It's a touchback. Seattle ball, 1st down.
Watch Earl Thomas, 29, come in at the end. See him punch the football before it gets to the goal line. The ball is out of his hand. It goes through the end zone. Touchback. Seattle takes the football. The line judge on the play, Jeff Bergman, wears number 32 on his striped shirt, was all over the play and nailed it. And what a play by Earl Thomas, hustling from his free safety position. Chop, ball's out, goes through the end zone, no touchdown, touchback, Seattle football. That's hustling to the ball and not giving up on a play.
So the Seahawks will get the football at the 20-yard line. If this play stands.
Those are the types of plays that tell you why one team is going to the playoffs with a chance to go to the Super Bowl, and the Rams are close but aren't making the plays that get them over the top yet. They feel like they are very close and are eagerly looking forward to 2015. That'll be on a training reel from Jeff Fisher back to his team in training camp next year. We make these plays, we start advancing to the playoffs, gentlemen.
And that is the third Ram turnover of the second half, as Russell Wilson trots back on the field for Seattle. 5 minutes and 58 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Turbin tries to break it back, stays on his feet. And let's go downstairs and check in with Molly McGrath.
Thanks, Gus. Yeah, trainers were adjusting the left knee of defensive tackle Jordan Hill for Seattle. He was visibly in pain. He has ice on that knee now, and he is out with a left knee injury. And linebacker KJ Wright for Seattle is questionable with a left hand injury as well.
See why the open week becomes so advantageous for teams this time of year? That rest, getting guys back, could mean the difference between a short stay in the playoffs and a deep run.
Second down and 6 at the 24. Turbin. And he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Aaron Donald and Brockers with the hit for St. Louis. Clock keeps running. 5 minutes now.
And they'll milk it as much as possible. Run this third down play. If they don't pick it up, they'll punt the football and rely on their defense, which is coming up with back-to-back big plays here to help keep St. Louis at bay.
Third down and 7 to the 23. Russell Wilson will throw it. Drops it off, incomplete, intended for Luke Wilson. Thrown a tad bit high, but a catchable ball for the second-year man.
Remember last week he had a monster game, the breakout game at Arizona. 3 catches, 139 yards, including an 80-yard touchdown. You know what today is? Today's the humbler. Today's the one that snaps you back to, okay, that was a great week last week. We still got work to do as we continue to progress as a pro. He can be a big-time target for them and could be huge in the playoffs.
John Ryan will punt it away from the 8. Austin back deep at the 32. End over end kick. Austin comes up to field it and has it at the 39. As we take a look at the NFC playoff picture.
So Arizona right now is still down 3 with a little bit less than 6 minutes to go at San Francisco. Atlanta getting jumped by Carolina, so Carolina is going to win that division at 6-8-1. We'll go to 7-8-1 and go to the playoffs as the NFC South division winners. Green Bay up 14 at Detroit. So if Green Bay wins and clinches this, they move in and flip with Detroit. They become the division champs. Detroit becomes the wild card.
First down for Sean Hill. He'll throw, and it's caught. Austin, and he steps out of bounds with 4:16 to go. It's a 5-yard gain.
He may look like Scuba Steve there, Richard Sherman. But the thing I noticed watching him in practice, I don't think it's an original thought, but when he moves, no wasted motion. You know, I mean, everything is, there's a purpose for every step for him. One of the reasons he's a great cover man.
Second down and 5, and incomplete. Intended for Jared Cook. That ball broken up at the last moment by Malcolm Smith.
He's now in for KJ Wright. Molly McGrath reporting KJ Wright has an injury, questionable the rest of the way. Watch Smith, 53. Inside on the slot against the tight end. Just enough to affect the play. Super Bowl MVP last year.
Third down and 5 at the 44. Hill Underneath, first down, St. Louis, and even more as they continue to see Stephen Bailey move up the field, and he finally tackled at the Seattle 38-yard line. An 18-yard gain. Earl Thomas with the stop.
That's well done by Bailey. The yards after catch, so hard to come by against Seattle. Bailey created the extra yards, making people miss.
Rams continuing to fight. Hill bounces out of the pocket, throws, and caught by Givens, but a flag on the play.
This could go against St. Louis. This could be Givens pushing off to come back for the ball.
Pass interference. Offense, number 13. 10-yard penalty. Replay. First down.
You are right.
Watch number 13 to the outside, working against Richard Sherman. This just adds to the NFC leading total of offensive pass interference penalties against one team. And that's Givens working against Sherman. Truthfully, that didn't look like a heck of a lot to me.
Didn't look like a lot to me either, partner. So first down and 20 at the 48. Here's Hill. Under pressure, and Hill is sacked at the 40. Nicely done, O'Brien, Schofield. Michael Bennett in there as well. Third sack of the day for the Seahawks.
Was Schofield the recipient of the pressure from Bennett? I think Bennett's coming from right there. Let's see. Nope, Schofield first. Bennett diving on, trying to get a piece later. Give O'Brien Schofield full credit for that sack.
Second and 32. 3 minutes to go. Hill to Cunningham. And Vinny Cunningham will spin forward as Bobby Wagner hauls him down.
For those who think that people don't get better when they get to the NFL, that they don't get coached, watch Seattle. I mean, they coach and get these guys better all the time. Great tacklers.
Third down and 25. Hill, and it's hit as he throws it. St. Louis jumps on it, but more pressure. Bruce Irvin, what a game.
This should be a fumble. Ball, he didn't allow the hand to come forward, so it becomes the empty hand rule. Ball's out, and Greg Robinson jumps on the ball for St. Louis, but Bruce Irvin, with a speed rush to the upfield shoulder, takes the ball out of Sean Hill's hands.
So that'll bring up fourth down and 35 yards to go with 2:18 remaining on the clock. Bruce Irvin returned a fumble, 49 yards for a touchdown made possible by Bobby Wagner. Now Irvin wreaking havoc in the Ram backfield.
So here's the question now, right? Offensive coordinators always get this one. What do you have on your 4th and 35 chart? You know, Brian Schottenheimer's like, we don't have that category. So he's got to fashion something now to figure out where you go to try and pick up 35 yards against the #1 defense in the NFL.
Fourth down and 35. The first down marker at the 28-yard line. Here's Hill. Underneath to Cunningham. And Cunningham stopped at the 47 by Malcolm Smith. And Seattle will get the football back with 2:11 to go, leading it 20-6.
When you have a tough time scoring and put your defense in tough spots all game long, it's hard for them to hold in there for a full 60 minutes, especially against the defending Super Bowl champs.
And the Rams did have opportunities.
Plenty of opportunities. But the defense of Seattle kept them in there until their offense could get moving. And that's led us to where we are now, 20-6, including a big defensive play by the Seahawks with the Irvin interception return for a touchdown.
And the handoff to Turbin. Robert Turbin has played well Receiving a lot of touches early with Marshawn Lynch being eased into the game.
And you know what else Seattle did today? By being able to keep them at bay and then extend the lead, they took the gadgets and the deceptives off the chart for Jeff Fisher and the St. Louis Rams.
Rams call a timeout with 2:06 to go. Russell Wilson hasn't played his best game. He played his best game last week. But still, Wilson, a winner. When we talked to him on Friday at the Seahawks facility, he said, not only do I want to win football games and be a good quarterback, but I want to make sure that I do my best to try to help people.
Make a difference along the way. And speaking of winning, you know what today will be? His 40th win as a starting quarterback, counting playoffs and Super Bowl.
Hands the ball off to Turbin, and Turbin picks up a first down. And that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play. Seattle leading St. Louis 20-6. Back to the Emerald City right after this. 2 minutes remaining in the fourth. Seattle leading St. Louis 20-6. Big fourth quarter for the Seahawks, where they really relied on their defense. The guys stepped up and made some serious plays. They are in the victory formation right now.
They don't flinch, do they?
No, they don't.
People come at them and they hang in there.
Irvin, let me correct myself, it was not a fumble. They called it an interception, return for 49 yards. Baldwin and Coach Carroll embracing. And when we went and talked to Pete Carroll, it was funny. We were looking for the picture of Dorian Gray.
Where is it?
Where is it?
Where do you keep that locked away, Coach Carroll?
Physically youthful. Enthusiastic. Pete Carroll.
Did you ever hoop with him back in the day?
I would never even try it. I heard he had sharp elbows.
He was serious about his lunchtime hoops now.
All right, Fox's football coverage doesn't end when the games are over. Afterwards, stick around for the OT for extended highlights and exclusive interviews, plus a breakdown of playoff matchups. America's #1 postgame show, the OT, presented by Lowe's, is coming up next only on Fox.
So as long as Green Bay and Detroit don't end up in a tie, and Green Bay now leads 30-14 with a little over 2 minutes to go, 2.5 minutes to go. How about the return of Aaron Rodgers to carry Green Bay home? Looks like Seattle is going to carry home field with them into the playoffs and throughout.
It wasn't pretty, but the Seattle Seahawks defeat the St. Louis Rams 20-6. They clinch the NFC West as the two USC Trojans, Carroll, the former coach, and Fisher, the former player, give each other a nice hug at the end of this one. Seattle, the 2014 NFC West champions, they clinch a first-round bye, and they're just hoping that Detroit-Green Bay game does not end in a tie. Doesn't look like it. Home field advantage for the Seahawks coming up during the postseason. We'll be right back to the Emerald City. 20-6 the final. Seahawks.